This is the Middleborough Tourism Committee. It is Wednesday, June 9th at 7:05 p.m. and we are broadcast live through MCAM on Comcast and Verizon. This is our first in-person meeting and
wow, since 2019
for a long time. So it's great to be returning back to normal a little bit here. So first thing up is. Does anybody have anything under unanticipated?
No, I don't have anything.
The one thing I would bring up is we had a couple of members requesting that if we would like to extend the Zoom invitation going forward in case anyone feels doesn't feel comfortable to be in person, if they would like to participate strictly through Zoom. I would leave that to you guys to discuss.
Fine with me.
Yeah, I think it's a good option.
Okay, do we want to do this for an X amount of meetings, or do you indefinitely?
Till further notice?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay.
It might be helpful if maybe people on vacation, not that everybody.
Right.
You know, nobody's going to be able to hear you. No, Mike.
Grab that mic. Sorry.
Yeah, we need to have you on the record. Yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It might be helpful for people who are on vacation, maybe, if they weren't participating when they were on vacation.
Okay.
I don't know, people take.
It's also, I think,
Right
a good infrastructure to preserve just in case,
Yeah.
rather than have to reconstitute it again.
I just have to make sure that it's doable with MCAM if they're able to. Since this is live, it should be fine. Okay, so
Good.
yeah, so I have absolutely no problem with that. I was just looking at the lay of the land, and everyone else wasn't, everyone else kind of abandoned Zoom. Besides one committee that I'm on, it does it exclusively through Zoom. Because I'm guessing because they just haven't adapted yet. So, but that's not a problem at all. I can do that going forward. So.
Yeah. Okay, it's good to know because I'm kind of considering it for the Oliver State Committee as well.
Perfect.
Excuse me, can I also ask a question? In the past, have people usually said, yes, I'll attend, no, I won't attend? Because tonight you were calling people, and if I had said no, then you had to make more phone calls, correct, to tell everyone?
Yes,
Should we be responding to you? Should that?
Well, the reason why it was because I knew offhand that those 4 members not attending, so that would, we need a quorum of 6, so that means 6 out of 7 members would have to attend. So that's the only reason why. I was going to show up here regardless because I live right down the street, but I was just trying to save people the trip. Well,
that's what I mean,
Yeah.
but if people just, when they got the meeting reminder, said, sorry, I won't be there, yes, I will be there, is that more work for you or less work? Because
it doesn't.
what if 4 people have showed up tonight and then?
We wouldn't have a meeting.
Right, we'd have
Yeah.
to say we don't have a quorum, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just trying to spare people the extra trip, if I could. If I, called everyone individually on the committee and they all said no, then I would send a group email out to inform everyone that's not going to happen. So that was just me doing quick math. Who's going to be here? Who's not going to be here?
Who's available, yeah.
Because once 4 people say they're not going to be here, now it comes down to at 11-member committee, we need
Do we have
6
a
out of
quorum?
7 to arrive. So.
And also, this is the first in-person meeting.
Exactly.
So
and I know.
it's double checking,
Yeah.
making sure people are available is a good idea.
And also comfortable, because if people said they were not comfortable, then that wouldn't be a problem with postponing the meeting until next week, and you can do it through Zoom. And now that we've decided that we're going to include Zoom instructions going forward, then people will have the option, and that's one extra thing that we can do,
Yep.
make it easier for everybody.
Yep,
So.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so moving on, can I get a vote to approve and release the meeting minutes?
Before you do that,
Sure.
I have some
Anticipated.
corrections.
Oh.
But I sent them to our secretary, but she's out sick. So I don't know if she's going to be adding them, if we want to just
I think we should probably,
put as amended or something, because there are changes. A couple of them are just typos, like she has deliver fee instead of delivery fee. On Part 3D, however, it's basically sounds like I didn't bother to reconcile with the accounting office. I haven't received anything from them to reconcile with.
Which is a different animal
It's a
altogether.
different animal, yeah. Also, the other thing is a name that I happen to know because I went to school with his sister. On number 7A, part, let's see, 4, that she was going to ask Dave Wiley, that is not how you spell Wiley. It is W-Y-L-I-E.
Okay.
So I gave her those. Those are my only changes, so I mean, it's minor, but before we approve them with the typos and misspellings and.
I think I had one as well, and it was, I had it in here. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was under 5A, number 1, it was a fire inspector. It wasn't fire inspector, it was the...
Fire chief?
Well, yes, I think it was a fire chief. Yep.
Okay.
So that was really it. That's the only thing that I saw, but that's really
Okay.
semantics more than anything.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a pleasure of the board. Do we want to approve this as amended, or do we want to table this until next meeting?
I would say we
I'd
could
say
approve as amended.
As amended, and I'll send these over. I made your change on mine too. I'll just send them to, I just lost her name, Angela.
So, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Who's taking notes?
I would assume that Angela's going to just watch this
Watch this.
meeting.
Yeah, and do it from
She's
there.
out sick tonight, by the way, so there won't be any Angela report,
Yeah.
fortunately.
Okay.
So, all right, so with that said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No more polling.
Yeah, that was my fault. I should have organized that a little bit better,
It's okay.
but,
Can't think of everything.
yeah. So, next up is the treasurer's report.
Okay, no change from last time. The current balance is still 51,412.81, as it's stated on the unit you have in your hand. I still have not gotten any bill from KOA.
Okay,
I'm waiting on that still.
okay. All right.
Anything that said we were still waiting on, we're still waiting on.
Yep. So something to reconcile with from the Treasurer's Department.
It is summer vacations.
Right.
Yeah, and
I'm sure she's a little busy over at KOA with just starting and summer starting.
They're starting their heavy season.
I'm not going to bother her.
okay.
She'll get it to us.
Yeah. So, all right, next up is the online ticketing discussion. So the one I looked at briefly was ShowPass as an alternative to Eventbrite. They basically offer 3 different plans. A basic plan is 1% of what the ticket cost is plus 59 cents. So I think that came out to, if we're selling online tickets for $7, I want to say it was, oh God, I think it was like 64 cents or 66 cents.
Comparable.
It's comparable to
I
Eventbrite.
think Eventbrite was, what was it, 106?
It's been so long.
Yeah, it might have been $1.
It is something like that.
Yeah. And then they had a standard package. Basically, with each package, they offer more services. I believe the basic package kind of aligned more to what we have been doing. But the standard package, the next one up, was 2.5% of sales plus $1.60, which is probably a little expensive.
Yeah, that's starting to get,
Did
Yeah.
they say anything in their packages, whether standard package involved being able to speak to a human?
None of those packages offer that,
Okay, same
or
with
displayed
Eventbrite.
that as an actual thing.
Because Eventbrite actually has it on that you have to be a higher echelon member
Yeah.
to get a
personalized
live
customer
person when they
service.
screw
And
up.
then they had one that was customizable where the pricing would change based on what we selected. So that might be an alternative to look at. So, I mean, we can continue looking. I mean, if there's an alternative that anyone has.
Well, it's not like we have to worry about doing something with it right this minute.
Yep,
We
yep.
don't
Got
have
some run
anything
room.
coming up with the ticketing through there right now.
Right. We don't
So
have any
we've got time
events
to look
settled.
around.
Yep.
I'll
So-
do a little, I'll look too myself.
Because I think we all know my feelings on Eventbrite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was just crazy.
It was ridiculous.
It was
Right.
ridiculous. Do you know off the top of your head if the standard one has like an unlimited amount of transactions, or do you have to, your own?
Is there a limitation on the transactions?
I don't think so.
Okay.
The one thing that is,
Because they'd lose money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, the standard package, I think, included more like interactive maps for like selecting seats, like stadium
Okay,
seats and stuff
which
like that.
Doesn't matter.
Which doesn't matter
That's
to
why I was
us.
saying we're most likely better off going either with a basic or going with a custom package, and we can kind of cherry pick which things work for us.
Right.
Then you pay the freight for the custom package.
Exactly, yeah, but, you know, I don't know what the pricing would be, if it would fall somewhere in between what the basic pricing is and the standard pricing would be, or if it will be less, I don't know. I think for the most part, what we're doing through Eventbrite is relatively basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's completely up to everyone else. But, I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
my main concern, as we all know, is if we can get a real live human if there's a problem. If any of them do that, then my vote would be for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think most companies probably say, oh, sure, we'll have somebody.
No,
That
Eventbrite
doesn't mean
says
that
They say they
they'll
don't.
actually have
Eventbrite
it.
says they don't.
Right.
crazy.
You're on your
You
own.
cannot get a live person unless you are in the higher priced packages.
Yeah.
do you know what
And
offhand
it
what that
says
is?
right on it.
Really?
Off the top of my head, no, it's been a while.
So, I mean,
Into-
obviously, on the online ticketing, no matter what option we go with, is better than the way that we have been doing it, which was at the mercy of the weather and people showing up. If we're, you know, if we're doing online ticketing, we're guaranteed sales, you know, whether it's a nice day or a bad day, which is
Right.
always good. You know, personally, I think if the Eventbrite is, if we got the kind of the, you know, the kinks out of the works, and we could figure out a way that we haven't, just a paper check of the proceeds from the sales delivered to us, and then we deposit it them through the treasurer's office manually.
That's the only way I will deal with Eventbrite.
Yeah.
That would probably
Perfectly
be the
honest.
best way to do it.
But I still would love to be able to speak to them if there's a problem on a check.
Yeah, I could also look into Fair Harbor, which is what my
Yeah,
tour
Fair Harbor
company.
is the other one.
Yeah, Fair Harbor is what we use. I'll see what level they are subscribed at and see how much it costs. I know the owners, I can ask those questions.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I spelled that right.
That's it, yeah, it's not-
F-A-R-E Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As opposed to F-A-I-R.
right.
No, none of them are fair.
Yeah.
So, and then, all right, so I'll look into the Eventbrite cost for the, yeah, it might be the Eventbrite cost for the premium. Let me talk to the manager service.
See if it
and-
works.
I
Yeah.
mean, it worked beautifully until there was a problem.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that was mostly associated with the ghost tours, or was that with Festival of Lights as well?
Well, it was ghost tours that there was a problem, because we got that, the rest of it straightened out before that,
Right.
before Festival of Lights. But, I mean, it could very well have been a problem with the Festival of Lights, too.
And if I understand correctly, the other issue was money coming in without any means of tracking where it was supposed to go so that we could allocate
Yeah,
it
well,
properly in our...
that's if it's direct deposit. We
Right.
can't do that, because that
Right.
gets way too crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was saying, no matter what we do,
We
probably
need
the
to
best
check.
solution
Hard
is
checks.
paper check and then deposit it. So that way we could bring it right to
Right,
treasurer's
and I
office.
can send it with a deposit slip and who it
Yep.
came from.
And they know
what
where
it's
it
for.
goes, yep.
That's
Absolutely.
fine, I don't mind doing that, that's what we do for the other festivals.
Okay.
Yes. Does anyone have any objection to possibly use this for any, I mean, Quintoberfest, is that something that we think we could possibly use this for, or
No,
no?
I will tell you why. Because on any of these, if you have it, you have a certain amount of tickets.
Yep,
We don't charge admission for people.
yep.
So the only money that would be tickets for would be vendors.
Right.
If you allow, say, 30 vendors, you could get 30 people selling soap, and you have no
Right.
control over that.
Right.
If they bought a ticket, they're in, and that's a horrible show.
Whereas this way, we can, Ann and I can, or certainly Ann can figure out, okay, we have
We
X
need-
number
yeah.
of saturation in this, we don't need more of this type of thing, we need more variety.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we have categories.
Whereas that would be first come, first served, and we'd be hosed.
I mean, it is first come, first served, but within categories.
Right,
Yep.
And I don't think they'd let us put 40 categories on there.
right.
Yeah, true.
So that's why.
It'd be too cumbersome to set it up in a way that would work for us.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to think if there's any other events besides ghost tours and festival of lights that we could use that online ticketing for.
Maybe, yeah,
But I don't think there is, so,
probably not.
okay.
Yeah, like for ghost tours, we have to control the number of people per tour so we can get them
Right.
through and they can have a good experience. So then it
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah, we can't be inundated with,
Right.
100
20 in
people
one piece and
showing
5
up
in the
all the
next.
same- yeah.
Yeah.
okay. All right, so is there any other thoughts? All right, so, moving on, Pierce Building update. I talked to our facilities manager, and him and I have coordinated a way for us to access it basically at our leisure. Because I have the fob to get into the garage, I would just have to give him a heads up when to leave the door from the garage to the rest of the building unlocked so we can access it. So it's basically whenever we can come up with for a date and a time, you know, we can go from there. So it can even be on a weekend, because I can have them unlock it on the Friday before, so.
This is just to take a look at it?
Yes.
So we have to know what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you guys, but there are certain parts of that building I've never been in.
Yeah, me either.
I've never been, I've been in the front and talked to cops, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've been in the front, I've been in the you know,
One-
the
one-
garage,
Yeah.
the cells.
Yeah. One of the selectmen tried to block me in the cell, so,
My husband tried to do that.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
I
That's
told him I wasn't born yesterday.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so,
What a night, not last night.
yeah, you're right, so, no, so
do walk, I know.
when it comes to the funding, Leilani and Janice both submitted grant applications, and I think we're still waiting to hear from both of them.
Yep.
Leilani, I think, submitted a grant proposal that was, I think, for $250,000, and the one-step grant is, I don't know the dollar amount is on that. So we're still waiting on answers from both of those two things, and basically everything's still pretty fluid in terms of what money's going to be allocated for what, besides the funding that we approved. So,
Do you have any idea on a date for what might work? I'd like to see it sooner than later.
So-
Yeah.
Planning would be easier.
to take the tour?
Yeah.
Take a walk through, yeah. What works with your schedule, too, you know?
Yeah, this weekend won't work for me,
Yeah,
but
this
Yeah,
weekend's
mine
no
either.
good for me.
the
No, I'm
following
busy.
weekend.
That's,
My only caveat is Saturdays I do tours in Boston. Usually I have the 11:30, so I'm home by about 2:30, 3 o'clock.
yeah, I have rehearsals till noon every Saturday right now.
Okay. I know Leilani and Glenn aren't available Sunday mornings because
Yeah.
Church, yeah, same.
And I won't be available Sunday afternoons on some Sundays because Carver Farmers Market starts
Yeah.
this weekend.
And there we go.
Yep. So how about next Saturday, the 19th? Would that work for anybody?
When?
When, what time?
We could do, I don't know, 3:30 p.m.?
Yeah, that should work for me.
I have a funeral that day.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I have a concert in Duxbury, I believe. Yeah, in Duxbury until 2:30.
So maybe,
We can also do a Friday at, we could do next Friday at 5:30?
The 18th?
Yes.
that would
From
work.
5:30 to 9, I'm playing a gig. I'm finally getting work.
Okay, Ann, when are you free?
I know, he's just picking, I'm free Wednesday, I'm free Thursday, I'm free pretty much the next week.
Okay.
The week after that, Monday,
So-
Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he's just picked the days
What
I'm
about,
busy.
what about next Thursday, same time, 5:30?
17th?
I'm in Long Island. For work.
Goodness.
The
We're busy.
following week, though,
Thursday, the 24th?
Thursday, the 24th, that would work for me.
Okay,
That
that
work
worked
for
for
you
me,
That works for me.
because
That
I'm
work
done
for
with
you?
school. Yep.
That works for
So
me.
Thursday,
So what
the
time?
5:30.
Thursday, the 24th.
6:24 at 5:30 at the police station, Pierce Building.
5:30, Pierce. Oh, that was easy. That's a lot
Yay.
easier than trying to email everybody individually.
We can all have look at our calendars.
5:30.
Well, I know some other people in town, they'll send an email, like, these are the 3 dates. And that usually doesn't work for everybody, so. Perfect.
So I had a comment in regards to the building.
Absolutely.
So I know I'm jumping the gun a little bit because this is like what we're going to do inside. And but I have a bunch of ideas. I know I mentioned them a couple meetings ago about like what we could do for the visitor center. I had some examples of work that I've done before that I want to show. But because everyone's not here, it might be best to do it next time. Because I think it's cool and it would facilitate
Yeah.
good discussion, but I don't want to do it without the rest of it.
And I think this is where the walkthrough will also be very helpful for
Yeah.
everyone, and they can kind of get an idea. I mean, you could look at a set of plans, and you can see, oh, this room is 8 by 10, but you don't know how big 8 by 10 is until you actually take step foot inside of
Yeah.
there, so.
And it matters where the windows are.
Exactly, so, so I think that this is, I mean, as we're gonna be one of the parties, presumably in this building, I think it's beneficial for us to take a walkthrough.
Right.
I do too.
To see what possibilities we may have.
So maybe next time, if no one objects, for next meeting, we could block out like 20 minutes or so for me to show some of the examples about other visitor centers that I've worked on, have structured, like their interior. And we could just have a little bit of like creative discussion about that.
Absolutely.
And we'd all have seen the space and
Right,
such.
once we've seen the place,
Yeah.
that'll,
And if you need anything in terms of, like floor plans, et cetera, I can send those your
Oh,
way.
awesome, that'd be great. That'd be perfect.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. All right, so next thing is the Angelo Report, so we'll hold off on that.
Table that for next
She's,
meeting.
I have one comment about that, and it's just that Angela sent me some brochure files I saw in the notes that she had talked about. Is it Nikki?
Yes.
Is it Nikki that wasn't able to do it? And I just need to coordinate with Angela. I wanted to talk to her tonight, but I'll maybe just send her an email tomorrow and see what I should be doing with those files. Because I wasn't here at the last meeting, I'm a little
I
behind.
may want to wait for Leilani.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
I'll write to both of them.
She'll be back, Leilani's gone until Saturday night.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Late Saturday.
All right.
David's at the dogs.
Yep.
So she's probably going to be toast Sunday. You might want to wait till Monday.
Monday would be a good day.
Monday,
Yeah.
After midnight.
Selectmen meeting on Monday?
we almost didn't have our last one. We had 3 members for our Monday's meeting, and I was sick from work, and another member was under the weather because he had a second shot.
Yep.
So we almost didn't have a quorum. It felt like Lakeville. It was only 3 members. So, all right. Next up is the events for the 4th of July parade. I know Glenn sent over some pictures of prior year's floats. I don't know if everyone felt comfortable doing basically the same thing, using Glenn's truck. And basically just walk the route. I don't know, what did you guys do in the past? Do you guys chuck candy at the kids, or?
No,
Can't do that?
Can't do that this year.
No, we used to
You
pass
have
out.
to hand it to them.
Yeah.
You can't throw things from the trucks in.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because children run out into the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
The whole idea is you're not supposed to pass it out. Do you know why? Is because a lot of times they'll let the children pass them out, and when the children throw, they don't throw very far. So now
Yeah.
you're forced into the vehicles.
Right, you got people mingling in the parade, and
Yeah.
it's not as
But
safe.
we used to, have, say like, an embedded postcard.
Right.
On the
Yeah,
event
we
postcard.
pass out.
Hand those
they would
out.
Hand them out.
To advertise the
We don't
next
have that.
events,
Yeah, we
yeah.
don't have an event to advertise at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, not until Quintoberfest,
If, yeah.
if that, at this point. So I'm happy to help with setup and decorating Glenn's truck as a float, but I will be busy. I will have a parade regiment
Do we want to,
on the day.
do we want to approve Leilani or Glenn a budget for whatever they may need?
Probably.
That'd be a good idea.
What did we do last year, 100?
Was it 100? I can't remember.
Do we have,
I think so.
I mean, I know we have a couple of banners.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of banners.
Banners,
It's just a matter of like figuring out what the design's going to be and buying the materials to create that design, like they did the cake for his 250th.
And we found a lot of the banners, they couldn't find them,
Yeah,
those
they were in
themselves.
one of the cells.
Oh, okay.
I'd
Good.
forgotten that.
So,
Got
Nobody
squirreled.
asked me where they were either. I didn't find out they were missing.
Well,
yeah.
hey,
Okay.
David?
So do you want to does someone would like to make a motion to approve Glenn for a budget of $100?
Motion.
All right, I have a motion. Do you have a second?
Second? Ann, you got that? Okay.
You can have it.
Okay. David moves, Mary Stone seconds.
Okay, so a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
has anything been decided on Quintoberfest, or are we changing the name of it, or moving
Actually,
the
Good
location?
question.
that was one thing honestly, I forgot to add to the events. I talked to Glenn, and he said to talk to Ann. So Ann's, the floor is yours.
Well, I had been speaking with Leilani, and we were thinking that I'm not sure what's going on with KOA.
Right, because we have new management there.
They're going to be doing something of their own
Mm.
for 2 weekends in October, so I tend to think that they're not going to want to play with us this year. An alternative that Leilani had come up with was doing something here at the town hall. We've got the lawn out front, we've got the big parking lot parking. It would be nice to do an event in the center of the town for a change. That's cool.
Especially since Crazy Days is not a thing
Yeah, exactly.
for a while.
That might be nice to give people from this end of town, walking distance for a change. But, I mean, we could pretty much run it the way we normally do, except we wouldn't have cabin decorating.
We could have vendors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can have vendors, we can have, the costume parade, they could all just, walk around the outside of the building or something, around the grass. You can get a parade route, that's not tough.
And we
Just
could,
have to find a date
and we could possibly have vendors in here, I guess, too, in some of this space and maybe the smaller meeting rooms.
if we needed to.
If we needed
or
to.
keep it all outside.
Yeah.
Because then you have people saying that people didn't come in because they didn't know
Right,
things were in.
okay.
That was the problem they had with the paranormal stuff.
Ah, okay.
When they had some out and
Some
some
in,
in,
yeah,
people didn't realize there was some all over the place.
right. Well, they've had people like coming doing lectures, and they thought there would be a draw from that, but I guess it didn't pan out quite as they'd hoped.
Well, they were doing the lectures down here,
Yeah.
and the vendors were up in the ballroom.
And people didn't know that there were vendors
People
upstairs.
didn't go up to the ballroom.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay,
So, they didn't ask me on that one.
okay. So then we can, I guess, plan tentatively for having like a planning meeting to figure out the
Yeah.
logistics for moving it to
And if everybody
center
wants
town.
to try that, but it's a thought, a way to
Yeah.
at least do something.
Right, if the KOA is
You
not an
guys, if you
option.
guys think of another place to,
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, so do I.
I mean, honestly, I think it's probably, all things being equal, would probably be more profitable than the Heron Run because we're not shuttling,
right.
we're
Yep.
not paying for parking essentially.
Yeah, cost overhead's going to be less,
Yeah.
definitely.
No buses.
Yep, so, I mean, we just have to figure out locations
If
for,
the building is open, we don't need porta potties.
Right.
yeah. Well, I was still thinking we probably should have porta potties. I don't know if we necessarily want to have access to inside town hall.
Yeah, I mean,
Because-
well, you can lock off, have
Yeah.
just the bathrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true
just
too.
the front door.
I
Yeah.
just didn't
Yeah.
know, yeah. I just wouldn't
Yeah.
want to see people kind of
Oh,
running
no,
nuts.
Well, no, there won't be,
wandering
yeah.
Unattended.
Yeah.
No.
No.
So that's why I was thinking, we're probably better off just
These are all details we can
Yeah,
work out.
work
Right, in the
Yeah.
planning
Once we
meeting.
decide if we
Figure out-
want to do this, do we want to do it here? When do we want to hold it? Is the building available?
Now, that's the other thing, is thinking about when we want to hold it, and thus, how much running room do we have to get it out there?
And we have
It's
to
gonna
make
be a
sure
thing.
that we're, the summer concert series, that's not on the weekends, right? That's on
Thursdays.
Thursdays.
So we're not interfering with them.
No.
No,
So that's,
So we have to find out if there's anything else planned.
Right.
And
yeah.
I don't know if they're doing the farmer's market this year.
Yeah.
The lawn, there has been in past years. I don't have a clue. on
right.
this one.
So that, all I think kind of got interfered with by the whole COVID emergency, and
Yeah.
we had two for a while, and then we had the one just here, and,
It was 3 for a minute.
yeah.
So I have lost track of what's going on.
Who's doing what, yeah.
That's something we need to find out.
Kyle, I had a question.
I don't know, how many vendors do you usually have?
For Quintoberfest, we had, it was somewhere around 30.
Right, it wasn't that big.
Smaller.
Right, like
But we
herring.
we had an issue with electricity
Right.
there.
Yeah, there is, that's a big
And there
limitation.
won't be a whole lot of electricity here
Here.
either, so it would have to be, I would say probably daylight to dusk,
Yeah,
at close at dusk.
and you can't need a lot of electricity for
No,
whatever it is you're doing.
Things will have to be self-contained,
Right,
Yeah, it would have to be something that's like a,
generators or food truck type thing.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what kinds of vendors do you have that would need electricity?
Oh, like for some food vendors needed it,
Yeah.
to run friolators, things like that.
When we had, when it went later into the night, people needed light.
Right,
yeah.
When it got dark, you can't see.
you have to illuminate the space so that people are safe walking around.
I mean, we should benefit a little bit from the lighting that is from
At least there are
downtown.
parking, yeah.
Right, we have the illuminated
Streetlights.
parking lot, yeah.
Yeah, there are no streetlights on the fields.
Right,
Yes, well, yeah, this isn't really lit well at
No.
all.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not opposed to food trucks, so,
I know
You know,
we were
if-
trying to make it too more family-friendly too, so if you end at dusk, it's more things the kids can do.
exactly.
right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is something that we should,
It's not a beer
Yeah.
fest.
No,
Yeah, exactly,
no,
not going
we won't
too
need
far
like a
into the night.
license for
That
outdoor
was
beer
one of
vendor.
the reasons we changed the name before you joined from Oktoberfest
To Quintoberfest, to make it more family-oriented.
Family-friendly, bring in the cranberry, connection and de-emphasize beer.
Alcohol, yeah. Mhm.
I thought it was also because the town wanted to promote the agriculture of the
Yep.
Right.
town.
Yep, tie in with
We are
that.
the cranberry capital of the world.
Right,
Unless you talk to Wisconsin, who like to argue with us. But, Ocean Spray is here, the cranberries are here, which is why we tried to add that in. And that's why we went with Miss Quintoberfest now, and they had to answer the questions about cranberries.
And then we had the cranberry cook-off and
The
recipes
cranberry
of
cook-off, bake-off,
cranberries, yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
the judges
Yeah.
and stuff. So we're trying to make it more family-friendly, more agricultural-friendly, and less, big party.
Right.
There are Oktoberfests all over the place. We're trying to be a
Yeah.
little different, too.
I like the name. Good name.
We thought so. Thanks.
I just like to see the same things that make the Heron Run Festival special, the thing that I like about that festival, bring to this particular festival, which is the vendors and the food.
And Glenn will play his oompa music.
Right,
Yeah.
his oompa music,
So
yeah.
we'll have to have electric for that. There's some outside.
Right,
Yep. So, so basically, the thing we need to do is nail down a date and then figure out how
I gotta
many.
get this, sorry.
Okay.
Nope. Figure out how many and what type of vendors and where they're going to be located. I think that's the things that we need to figure out. So maybe it's worth it for Ann really to just that kind of kicking the tires and seeing what vendors would be interested.
yeah. We can certainly go to the lists of people we've gone to before and ask them what their availability is around this time.
So
We can certainly do that. And from that, figure out when we want to do it. And then that gets to the question I had, which is how much time are we going to need to promote it? So that people know it's happening and what ways in which are we going to promote it. We've done like this. As Pat said, we've had like postcards with the upcoming events and distributed those, and put them in hotel lobbies, things like that. Here,
One thing we probably should be, one thing if Ariel's comfortable doing it, is maybe start looking at possible flyer designs.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, obviously, you're not going to have the specifics, but,
we could probably provide some models that we've done.
yeah.
Leilani has those files, I think.
What is the normal date that it's done, or what has it been done on before?
God, I don't know off the top of my head, I'd have to,
It's about the second week.
As I say, like the second
Yeah,
week of
first-
October, right?
yeah.
Yeah, this Columbus Day weekend. so-
See.
Second
Yeah.
or third
That
week.
weekend, second or third.
First or second, or something like that.
Okay.
Let me see what that looks like. This.
Columbus
Okay.
Day is on the 11th.
Yeah,
Did we have before Columbus Day or after Columbus Day?
Yeah, it was also-
Columbus Day.
it was also kind of impacted by what KOA's timeline was, but since we're thinking of moving it, then that's not a concern anymore. So it'd be like, if the Columbus Day is Monday the 11th, the preceding weekend is the 9th, 10th, and I think it was only a day event, I think it was just a Saturday.
It was just one day.
Yeah.
So-
We're just trying to figure out when-ish, that
Are we-
usually
Are we looking to do-
Quintoberfest
I can
happened.
tell you where it should be,
Yeah.
and where it was.
I don't know if it was Columbus Day weekend or the weekend
We usually
after.
tried to stay away from
Yeah,
Columbus
because,
Day
you
weekend.
know why? Because the campground is very
Right.
busy that weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, again,
And we usually try to stay away from the first Saturday, because I'm usually playing on the first Saturday.
right,
So, I mean, the weekend after Columbus Day would be October 16th.
yeah,
That's
they
the
halfway
Saturday.
through, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it easier for you if we're setting up an event? Are we setting this up for one day or 2 days?
One day,
One day,
One day.
It's a one-dayer.
So would it be easier for you to have it on Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday definitely.
Saturday.
Okay.
People
Yeah.
aren't available Sunday.
Right,
Church.
they're getting ready for the upcoming week,
Think
they've got
about
church.
this, we cannot have people parking in here when the churches are up.
Right, yeah,
Same reason they don't have the Christmas parade on a Sunday,
right, it's church.
these churches. You need
So-
every bit of parking down
I
here.
never think of it.
So that's
Church.
plenty of room in terms of times, it's this tentatively the 16th?
Okay, so
Yeah, we'll
10,
put it on there with a question mark.
Yeah.
10, 16, and what do we think of for times?
We have done a bunch of times in the past. 2 to 7 was one of them. And I think that went too late.
I was thinking 12 to 5.
Yeah.
12 to 5 is probably, well,
Is that too short?
no.
We even gone to 9 o'clock at.
Yeah, but that
we
gets
went to
late.
That first year, oh, God.
Oh, that was evil.
It was very evil. The only thing I'm thinking about 12 is we want to make sure people are kind of set up and.
Right, so the vendors, we need like a couple of hours, right?
Yeah.
And I think with us
I
being,
mean, 12 is not horrendous because, I mean, but I don't really, I'm being selfish. I really don't want to be here at 5 a.m. like
No.
I am for.
Yeah.
Herring
Like we have to do
Festival.
for herring, yeah, we have to get up at the early
I
hour.
mean, the one thing too is if we do go a little bit later, it might benefit us seeing that we're downtown. We're going to get a lot more traffic down here than we would at the KOA, so it might be worth it to either go 1 to 6, or 12 to 5, or 1 to 7,
Okay, October by 6, you're getting dark.
Dark,
6.
and
I
again,
would rather
little
do-
kids,
I'd rather do 12
12
to
to 5.
5.
I would
And get here
agree.
a little earlier than to have it dark.
I agree.
'Cause that's not fun.
Yeah, then you're packing up in the dark.
Yeah.
That can be a bit of a mess. So that way, like, the vendors could get here by 10, and they'll probably be out and done
So
by
we'll
6.
be here by
16?
9.
instead
I was
of-
thinking about
Yeah, instead of
16.
5
12 to 5.
or 4.
We start
Yeah.
set up for,
Crim-
no, whatever.
Festival Lights,
No.
Herring Festival,
We
right.
start Herring Festival, the load-in starts at 6:30.
Yeah, and then we have like
And
the,
we open at, what, 10?
and we have two stages. You have the food vendors, the people, the enormous things that need to be parked in certain places, and then everybody else.
Here, we won't have quite as much with the having to shuffle things
Yep.
and shuffle parking.
We have to put up any signage along the routes, because you guys usually put a sign up on.
Oh, I'm not even worrying about
No,
that part.
no.
I'm just saying that's one less thing we have to do.
I'm
Right.
just talking the load-in itself.
Right.
What about, do you think we need a police detail?
I I think that's up to the police.
And I think we need to talk to them, see.
Yeah, we have to ask them, we'll have to check the dates and everything. Leilani usually talks with, handles that part.
Yep.
I did that last year.
Okay, well, she usually did. And she usually did the, what do you call it? State.
Yeah, 44.
Deal with that.
No, we don't have to deal with that either.
Yeah, getting permanent for that.
Yeah.
Because that, Quintoberfest of the KOA, that impacts 44, so yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Just thought, I don't know how you do vendors if they're in trucks, or if they come out and they set up, but is there a possibility to close off this section of the street?
That's totally up to the police
Right,
department.
it's,
Right, I understand that, but if you ask them.
We can ask.
It gives you more space,
Yeah.
maybe for the
Right.
food trucks or whatever.
No, it would be nice, it just depends on what they're
Because
allowed.
when they got the concerts out here, you can't get up and down the street anyway.
Yeah.
They've got half lots, they've got people parking,
So using it for, like, performer parking.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to close it.
Yeah, these are things that we discuss when we talk to them about what we're doing, and like the load-in route for Herring Run, we always talk to them about where do you want us to close, what do you want us not to use.
yeah.
Right, but he's going to talk to the police about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty, it's a pretty good idea because we could have the vendors park on that side, at the far side of the street. Now you have this side of the street to congregate, and I don't know, set up tables or whatever, people to sit at and eat. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
Then you're
But-
getting into having to get the tables from the DOT and set those
Yeah.
up and the
Trucking
chairs.
over.
Yeah, so, I mean.
Let's think about that.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's a probably safer alternative than what I was thinking was either along here in front on 105, have all the vendors,
No, I
food
thought, when
vendors
you
set
said
up.
side road, I thought you meant this road.
Right,
Side
yeah.
road, I thought you meant here.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't want
On
to,
Nicholson, yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
avoid like trying to block 105 if I could. Yeah.
Parking out there.
Yeah.
So there's no, you're not taking away any of your parking.
Right.
Exactly.
Which you would be.
Over there.
Right.
And obviously, it's safer for people to congregate on a street that's blocked off than to congregate by the side of
What I
105.
can do actually is give Ginny Landis a call. She and I are
Yeah.
friendly. And she is one of the ones who does Crazy Days, and ask them how they handle
Yep.
parking, what they do, where do the vendors park, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they've
'Cause they
already
figured that out.
invented the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they invented the wheel for
Well,
this
I know-
space, yeah.
Well, I know because Crazy Days is a different animal though, because they usually have food vendors over here in the parking lot, but we're gonna be using that parking lot, so we
They
couldn't
use
have.
that parking lot.
Yeah, this one right here.
No, not this one.
Not that one.
Food vendors are over in the school.
School parking lot.
And along the road.
Maybe I'm thinking of a
Nicholson
different,
Avenue.
maybe I'm thinking of a different festival, because last time they had vendors in the town
They
hall's
may
parking
have
lot.
had a
Yeah, they
few.
did, they had vendors inside
Okay.
the town hall parking lot.
Then-
Yeah,
okay.
They didn't have
Well, then
people
they
parking
changed,
in
then
here.
they changed
Yeah.
it from.
Yeah, they had that too, they had them
Yeah.
all over the place.
All right, let me talk to Ginny, and, because they may have changed their mind on that
Yeah.
too.
I mean, it's,
We could learn from them, yes.
Yeah, we'll take advantage of their, experience. They've already worked out all these kinks and tried things. I know they had to change the area last year.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't close roads that they normally had closed, and so it was a first try.
Yeah.
last
And,
year.
yeah, it was a little bit of rocky, yeah.
Because this main stage couldn't be down at the four corners, it was
Right.
over here.
Another thought too is we could even do touch a truck.
Get one of
You know, that could be something
the
that we can-
fire vehicles, yeah.
You know, vehicles here or whatever. and
Yeah, we
you
usually
know,
have,
They're always willing to do that.
they love to do it with roosters.
Yeah, so I think that might be a fun thing to do. We're gonna have something to entertain them if they want to come in.
Yep.
usually just leave it at the Glen. Glen's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, well, they love to look at the rooster.
Yeah.
appearances and
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
They always fun.
So that's pretty good. We've honed in on a tentative date, started to think about who we need to talk to about logistics. so-
I'll get a hold of Ginny.
And then I guess,
brainstorm
would it
with
make
her.
sense to start reaching out to vendors from
What I
Quintoberfest
will
and seeing?
do is tell them, I've had people asking me.
Yeah, because I know they ask, because I still get those
I
too.
will maybe send an email out to people saying, we're going to try to do something, stay tuned.
Yeah, and this is the
Well,
date
I
we're
You first
thinking
have
of.
to find
Yeah,
out if the
at
date's
least a-
available.
Exactly, because I'm not going to give them a
Main thing Before
date.
you send out anything.
right, yeah.
I'm not giving them a date, because we don't know.
Because we don't know it
really.
yet.
But I've had people say, do you think you might have something?
Oh, they all want to
Yeah.
do something. You haven't done
Exactly.
anything.
I don't blame them.
Absolutely.
I think there's pent-up demand, too, because people have been
Yeah.
stuck inside.
It will be like so quick.
Yeah.
You'll fill up those spots.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be faster than usual.
And I think when, I mean,
It's usually
with it
very
being
quick.
right here off of 105, I mean, if we're not, obviously we're not blocking 105, there's gonna be plenty of cars driving by it. Then we're gonna probably park on these side streets across the street and
Oh,
come
yeah.
over here.
Oh, yeah.
Still got Benny's
we're gonna-
park up.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Benny's
Yeah,
parking
Benny's
lot.
parking
Yeah, that's available, definitely.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's a good spot to have it, especially something this time of the year.
And it also gives the new management of the KOA a chance to bed in
Get their
and
feet.
deal with a year without being squatted on by us.
Yeah.
At least until December, when they're no longer busy, if that happens, yeah.
So, all right, so I think that's a good
Good start.
point. All right, so next thing up is advertising.
I have no idea.
Yeah, if we like organize a work party to decorate float, I can probably help with that, but on the day itself, I'm in a parade.
I think that day usually kind of like just decorate it right there.
I think we did it the day before.
I know, sometimes
Because
you've
I
gone
was
to the
usually
house
there
and
to
you've
help
done
them.
that.
Yeah, I did the cake one, I think.
Yeah, I've done,
Oh,
Most
over
of
at Glenn's house.
but
Nice.
I'm not available on the 4th
Right,
usually. This year, the Martha's Vineyard's
I thought the-
closed everything.
yeah,
They're not having their parades,
Is
but
the parade on the 4th or the 3rd?
third,
good,
3rd, that's what I thought.
third.
yep. Well, I know that Chelmsford is doing it on the 4th, but, so we're doing that.
I'm always available.
That's money for the regiment, so yeah, I gotta do that.
So it might be.
We basically had no paid
I've gotta
events
figure out
2020, so.
My birthday, I don't know if I want to do that or not.
Ah, come on.
Ariel, did you have an update?
Website update? I do.
Yes.
Woohoo!
So, first of all, well, let me show, I have something to display on the
Ooh,
screen. So
cool.
exciting. So this is just like well, nobody can hear me, hold on.
Zach, is she set up? Yeah. Oh. Perfect.
Will the projector come on for me?
Yeah, that's what timed out.
So, what I did, this is just like a rough draft.
Ooh,
Let me move this over so you guys can see this properly. Ignore like all this stuff up here is just a program I'm
yeah,
in.
that's okay.
Make it a little bit bigger. So, I also need to grab my glasses because I can't see.
Zach, is this being shown on MCAM right now? Yes. Beautiful, thank you.
So this is just the style. So like a first pass at the home page, and I wanted to show it to you all and get your feedback. And if we like it, if we want to tweak things, we're going to start making the other pages. So up here in the top left, this is where our logo would go. And currently on the website, it's just like a yellow Discover
Yep.
and Middleborough. Not much of a logo. So if you all are wedded to that, that's fine, we can keep it. But if you'd like me to explore making a new logo, I can do that a little bit.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think our first website was, we just have to get
we
this
had to
built.
get something on.
Yeah, we just need to get this
It was
built
like
so it
maybe
looks okay, yeah.
And it's
Microsoft
not
Paint.
bad, it's really, I've seen way worse sweatpants.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not bad. But I think we can make it a little more fun. All of these headings can basically stay the same unless anybody wants anything changed. We'll have the same drop-down menu.
Okay.
And then up top, I think it would be nice to have something like a big splashy image that comes up, and you can rotate through images. So
Yeah.
this is just something I pulled off of like Google or Facebook. And maybe we could come up with like some words that like populate, like explore, I don't know, go outside, things like that.
Yeah, that might be a good place to like showcase things like Pratt Farm and
Right.
Sewell Homestead, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that. And I think what we really lack are images. So Glenn sent me a folder of images, and there's a lot in there, but there's nothing that's like super high res, like really nice quality.
Yeah.
I think that we could do a few things. I could contact some places, like I could reach out to Soul Homestead and say, do you guys have an image would
Yeah,
you
they
mind
may
us
have.
using?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
like the museums, you know, the
Yeah.
Tom Thumb.
Right.
Yep.
Right, they
Yep.
may have existing images that are
Robbins
nice.
Museum.
Yep.
And then there's some people I know, like Kevin Forty, I don't know if you know him.
Yep, I know
Yep.
who
He
it
has
is.
some good pictures, maybe there's something that he takes that we'd ask him if we could use. Or I or anybody else can go out and take some pictures. But I think that's gonna be our biggest thing, and that's where the current website lacks.
Yep.
Is all of these like more modern websites, they're super like photocentric.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
very
we wanna make
image
sure we
heavy.
have like glossy images.
Well, yeah, because it's, I mean, it
It's
definitely looks
very
more inviting.
Right.
I would like to see if maybe we could add a little bit more of maybe like a heron element to it, maybe in one of those, it doesn't have to be the main page, but at least
Right.
some of the sub-pages might have that. I mean, that's you know, it kind of falls into the, you know, what Middleborough encompasses, which is basically the heron line.
It would be nice, too, that if it, like, as the seasons change, you go through spring, fall, winter,
Right.
summer.
True.
The imagery changes as we
Exactly.
hit each new season.
Yeah, use the herring during herring season.
Right.
I know there, for a fact, there are some really nice quality underwater films.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Heron cam, yep.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah, there's actually one that shows an otter swimming
Yeah.
through the,
That's cool.
right through the,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
he goes down and then he comes back and he's got a herring in his mouth.
Yeah, so maybe even that top banner could sometimes be like a moving image.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
What are your thoughts on possibly having a calendar somewhere on the homepage?
I do have that down here. So one more thing just to say about the overall look and feel, and then I'll go down to that. So I was just thinking about, like, Middleborough has such cool history, but we want to make sure it's modern and appealing to
Yep.
blend the two a little bit. That's why I'm using like maybe something a little bit more historic font and then a cleaner font. I like this kind of ripped edge style.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then using like a lot of white makes things look really clean.
Yep.
Blue,
Yeah.
red and green, I think are super like Middleborough colors.
Yeah, what size is the, I know
Yeah,
that's
the
just, I know that's just placeholder text, but what size is
Yeah.
that font?
I'm not sure off the top of my head because I have it as a PDF.
Okay. Because I would recommend something a bit bigger.
Right.
Old people
For
eyes.
those of us who are older and the eyes are not what they used to be.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So we want to make it easy for people to read and not painful.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you have in mind in terms of a logo besides?
I don't know, I need a little bit of time, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking, we obviously want to discover Middleborough.
Yeah.
But like you said, herring, maybe there's like some type of herring.
Well, we have
incorporated.
our little herring logo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just did one. I like that. That was good.
I like the herring.
I don't know if I've seen that.
The one on the t-shirts.
Yeah, the fish with a ladder.
With the, he's got a little vest on with a one and he's running up the ladder and he's got little sneakers on.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Things that come to mind that are like Middleborough centric that might be incorporated, like a herring, cranberries, stone walls. Anybody
Yeah.
else have any ideas?
Town hall.
Town hall.
Yeah.
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 Because that says
Okay.
incorporated in the official town logo, so.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that
That
thing.
is the town
Right.
logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I need a little bit of time to play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, just
No,
kind
I
of
mean,
ideas.
I think it's,
And then for like,
looks fantastic.
like Diane, of course, the list of the restaurants and eateries in town, and definitely
Yes.
would approach them for interior shots of their
Yeah.
establishments. I'm sure that Charter Oak must have some lovely imagery of their
I'm
site.
sure they all
I
have
agree.
Yeah.
some sort of advertising glossies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they must. Yeah.
So I was also thinking, just something we don't have currently is like just a little like intro blurb about tourism
Right,
in
yeah.
Middleborough.
Right.
We
It's
should do that
not on our
anyway.
current website, and
Yeah.
maybe we write something brief that goes here.
I wondered if we ever did like do a mission statement. Do you remember?
Way back.
Yeah, I'd have to look at that
We
again.
have somewhere in my archives.
Yeah, we-
Sure, it's in the
we do have
bylaws.
we do have
Let's see if we want to tweak that.
The first
Oh,
thing.
beautiful.
that.
Yeah, upcoming events,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
this-
perfect.
it doesn't have to look just like this, but we want to make sure those two things stay on there, and you can click and explore more.
So if you click
Yeah.
them, they'd be a live link to the rest. Which is it's like the splash page, if you will. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of these bones exist on the current website, it's just not very attractive. It doesn't make
Yes.
you want to click.
It's old
It's
now,
pedestrian.
it shows its age, absolutely. Oh, I like that, that's great.
This is just a little placeholder map, but I was thinking we could do, so currently you can click on like a drop-down list and explore like these little blocks of places,
Yep.
like dining, arts, agriculture. But if we do something a little bit more fun, like a map.
Then people have an idea roughly where it is.
Exactly,
Love it.
yeah. So I did something recently for East Providence, so this is just a placeholder of their map. But maybe you click on agriculture and highlight some agriculture sites, arts and culture, attractions, historic sites, recreation. And you can explore each one in depth. It can pull up a little page. And again, all that content is there on the website. It's just the images that are no good. But yeah, I think this map would be super fun.
Yep.
I also think, not to get like way ahead of myself, but there's this really easy application that's like pre-built and programmed where you can take this map and make it into like an app so people can open it on their phone.
Nice.
Which would be super, super cool
Yeah.
to do down there.
The one thing I would say we probably should add to that, and I don't know what page we would put it on, but maybe an access to so upcoming events, they would click on that and maybe it would redirect to an Eventbrite page or whatever online ticketing that we use.
Yeah.
You would drill through to that, the page for that event.
Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I
but,
agree with that. I think that's a good idea.
Because you don't want to have the same information in two different places, because then you get divergence no matter what you do.
Yeah,
So you
Yeah.
link to the page on which,
right. I want to make sure it's super clear.
right.
Was it
Which
supposed to
event
say
that
just
does.
Discover or was it
But
Middleborough?
Placeholder, really.
It could be like Middleborough at a glance, who knows?
Right, right.
Oh.
I like that, actually. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. No, it
We
looks,
tweak these titles. So my mom and I design stuff like this all the time. We have a company together, and she always writes the copy, so she would be a good one to just talk to about maybe some title ideas and stuff.
You know, I mean, and I don't think any of us are all that wedded to our copy, especially if it's
No.
clunky. So if you look at it and you think,
Yeah.
okay, this can be better.
True.
Something
Please,
concise
that-
and just clear and
Right,
clean.
yeah.
yeah, we don't want to
It's better.
I mean, you don't want to overburden the front page with too much. I mean, this is pretty, concise. So you go on that part of the page, there's only 5 things you can really click on, or the interactive dots. So I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
too.
there's too much stuff, it's visual
It looks like a
overload.
professional website, not something that was made on like a GeoCities or something, or a Wix or whatever. So that looks, I think
And
it
you guys
looks great.
certainly have the experience with getting people to read, and we know that people's attention spans online for reading are very short indeed.
Yeah.
Attention span
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, I mean, even that paragraph that you had up top is probably
Well, that's just
Probably still
placeholder.
too much,
I agree.
yeah.
It
That's just
definitely is.
placeholder. Well, it's an idea of how deep
Yeah.
it could be on the page, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
That's how much space we have.
yeah.
But I like how open it is, so it's not overwhelming,
Yeah.
it's inviting.
I just like it that it's very colorful and tasteful.
Great.
Definitely on the right track, I'd say.
Great.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really have, besides the things that we talked about, I don't really have much changes. It's,
All right, I'll proceed then, and then have some more to show you
And
guys.
I've actually talked to that Kevin Fonte. I talked to him recently, so I can reach out
Oh,
to him.
did you?
So yeah,
Okay, great.
because he actually wants to get pictures of the old police station before
Oh, cool.
they do all kinds of things. So he might tag along
Right,
for our
yeah.
walkthrough.
Yeah, he'll come along on the day.
That'd
yeah.
that'd be great.
I know him from when I was really little. I was friends with his daughter when I was like in elementary school. So we go back a little ways.
So
But yeah, I think it would be great if we could have this up for Quintober. Yes, Quintoberfest.
Is that enough time for you guys?
I think so. It
Okay.
should be, as long as I think so. I've been super busy the last month or so, but
Yeah.
this summer I should have a little more time.
yeah.
Even if
Well, thank
it's not, completely belled and whistled out.
True.
Yeah, and I would say that we probably want to have the website set up where it's minimum like minimal, like, have to update, keep on top of the website. We basically just want something up that, we're really only gonna have to update it,
The events.
for the
Yeah,
events.
but as we have the event calendar, it's important that things change on a website, otherwise the algorithms
Right.
see it as stale and they don't
Yeah.
Right.
they don't
Yeah.
push people to it.
Well, I'm just saying because you're gonna be the one that's most likely gonna maintain it, so I don't wanna overburden you.
Yeah, we don't
So.
want to have, like,
Yeah.
I love the seasonal idea, we want to make sure that we do like.
And that would have the
Yeah.
automatic effect of changing the content. So,
Yeah.
okay, this has
Yeah,
been
exactly.
updated. Let's
Little
look at it
video.
again.
Right.
Okay.
That's something you can do automatically.
And you
set
don't
up.
have to, it doesn't require manual
You
intervention.
don't have
Hey,
to
what
actually
do you-
think about it.
What do you think about the, like the splash ads that people get when you click on a website? So like, you click, so say it's like November and you go to Discover Middleborough and like a little thing pops up that says Festival of Lights, da 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 da. What do you think about that as an idea? Is that kind of, I mean,
like it as long as it's nicely designed and doesn't look like a crap.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't,
So you're saying if there's an event that month?
It'll
Yeah.
pop.
It'll be a little
have it be
pop-up.
like a little pop-up that will say, event this month, event coming up.
I mean, I don't know what you think of that. Is that, I mean, do people usually have a positive or negative reaction
Well, what
to
do you
that?
usually do with pop-up ads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could use.
Although that I might look at.
Yeah, that one you
Because
might.
usually the pop-up ads that pop up are things I have no interest in.
Right.
Pillows, weird things,
Yeah, ads.
Yeah.
They're basically ads, and not
They're
just the
ads.
content of the website I'm on.
Right.
But if we have, so let's say this was a home page and it just kind of like grayed out slightly and the pop-up was in the middle, you could easily
Click
exit
it.
out so
Yep.
it doesn't irritate people. And it's in the same style as the rest of the website.
Yes.
That would work well.
Yep.
We just want to make sure it was easy to update for each event, but I think
Right.
we don't
Yeah.
have a million events.
No, exactly.
No.
I would say this would only be for Festival of Lights if we're trying to get people to redirect them to Eventbrite or whatever online ticketing service that we use.
I don't know, I think you could put up a pop-up saying, that Herring Run Festival next weekend.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and like I said, just
Concise,
minimal
quick.
amount of work.
Right.
I'm not looking to have something like that for every single ad, every
Right,
single
right.
thing we do.
No, I think that's a good
Just
idea.
I think just the big festivals.
Right, the four of the
Yeah.
four that we do per year. We try to
Yeah.
mark kind of the seasons.
Ghost tours,
Yeah. and-
Herring Festival,
Herring, Herring Ghost Tours, Quintoberfest
Quintober
and
and
Festival of Lights.
lights,
Those are
tree
basically
lighting, those
about
kinds of things, yeah.
Tree lighting.
Okay, that's doable, definitely.
If you think it's a good idea, if you don't,
No, I
And
like
then the rest of
By
it,
all means.
the
I mean,
things that drill
it's-
down to like events, cultural events, like when the Oliver Estate has its ghost tours or its historical tours, that just drills through to their site that they maintain, and then people get their information from that.
Right, right.
So as long as those links don't break, we're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. All right, awesome.
that looks great.
I like it.
I love show and tell.
All right, so does anybody have anything under purchases and invoices?
I don't.
Haven't received anything.
Anything under correspondence?
Nope.
All right, so Discover Middleborough, the Facebook followers were up 14 to 5,986. Instagram was up 10 to 280. So everything's looking good, almost
Yeah.
to 6,000.
Whew.
So, all right, so with that said, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be done.
That was fun.
Sounds good.
Woo-hoo.
Quick and
Do you know
easy.
if we have any